Hulk Hogan has WWE fans debating. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what this old man had to say, this legendary name, all due respect, why people are debating this, and much, much more. Because I have followed this star's career for quite some time. Yes, and I'm not talking about Hulk Hogan. Did you get the tease? Look, Hulk Hogan, obviously, legendary name. Biggest name in the history of the wrestling business, in my opinion. Longevity, check. Money drawing, check. Charisma, check. Look, check. Promos, check. In-ring work. It depends on your definition of an in-ring worker, right? If you were going off of today's standards, Hulk Hogan was a horrific wrestler, right? However, if you go from the origins of pro wrestling, where you're trying to make something look like a actual shoot instead of a work, well, he checks that box. Sort of, right? Because he brought in a new style. He brought from the dim, grisly, just dirty, old school wrestling, and he put a shine to it. He is all about the promos and the entrance, and once that bell rings, all right, we're going to see Hulk Hogan get beat down for a while. He's going to make his comeback. He's going to hit the big boot, the leg drop, 1, 2, 3, right? Like, that's Hulk Hogan. But you can't take away from Hulk Hogan. Legendary name, longevity, right? From the 80s into the early 90s in WWE. Going to WCW, initially putting an impact on his stamp of WCW. Then hitting a little bit of a wall, his interest declining, and then him going into the NWO. Then going back to WWE and doing his thing. His 2002 run, that was really his last great run. His last great match was against Vince McMahon at WrestleMania 19 in 2003, in my opinion. He went out in 2002 at WrestleMania 18, stole the freaking show with The Rock, and then he followed it up with a freaking steel showing match, a street fight, if you will, against Vinnie Mac the following year, and yes, he is still a scumbag. Now, Hulk Hogan, I have even poked fun at this man on this channel by talking about how, yes, Hulk Hogan has lied. He continues to lie. He will keep lying. He is a liar. But I will agree with this statement that he recently made that does have fans talking, because everyone likes to debate, right? And there's a lot of current talent you like or you don't like. And this guy is kind of universally liked because this guy's a freaking star, right? And I'm talking about Braun Breaker, because he was introduced and he made his NXT debut during the NXT 2.0 time period. He quickly became an NXT champion where he had a long, dominant, and successful reign. And then he dropped it, and he had a run as a tag team champion with Baron Corbin. By the way, where has that guy been? But he was called up to the main roster earlier this year and has freaking taken over Monday Night Raw. He is a legitimate freak. And this is what Hogan had to say about him while speaking with Sportskeeda. He said, he's something else. He's wise beyond his years. To be that intense, to know that the red light is on, and be able to stay in that zone is very impressive. If they do the right thing with him, that could be the next Stone Cold, Steve Austin, Rock, Hulk Hogan. He could be the guy. Then he was asked whether or not he saw the similarities between Breaker and Bill Goldberg. Now, obviously, Goldberg, he worked with Hogan. Hogan was very influential on him, was a huge reason why he became the star that he did. And this is what Hogan had to say. A lot of similarities. He has that extra spice. Bill had a certain thing. I had a certain thing. Rock had a certain thing. Braun Breaker has all of the above. Plus, he has a little extra spice on his plate. He's ramped up and he's just getting started. I can't even imagine what's going to happen when he really figures it out. He's beyond the quick kill protection he can go. From what I see, he's broke in the correct way. He's put the time in. He's ready to go, move forward. I hope he learns and picks up more wisdom. Some guys are in the business for 15 to 20 years. They think that they are smart and they think that they're main event guys, but they never figured it out. I hope Braun Breaker figures it out. If he does, he's going to be hard to deal with. Now, Breaker is slated to challenge Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship at the Money in the Bank PLE in early July, right? And that is a match that I cannot freaking wait to see. And I think you would agree with that as well. Because what they've been able to do with Braun on Monday Night Raw, including him being the guy that wrote Ricochet off of television, freaking perfect. I loved it. Braun Breaker is a guy who is not going to be a one-time world champion. He's going to be a multiple-time world champion. From the moment that he made his in-ring debut under the bright lights of NXT and that god-awful NXT 2.0 period, he was a standout. He was a star. You knew it. Some people just have it. They just have charisma. And Braun Breaker has it. I mean, it overflows how much charisma this man has. He's also a heck of an in-ring talent as well. And so you combine both of those, you got a recipe for a lot of success. So yes, he's going to be a multiple-time world champion. Yes, he's going to headline future WrestleManias. Yes, and yes, he's going to be a guy that is going to be a top star for WWE in the years to come. I cannot freaking wait to see what they're able to do with Braun Breaker. I think the sky is the freaking limit for Braun Breaker. Yes, he should be in the conversation as the next Rock, as the next Stone Cold, as the next Hulk Hogan, the next Roman Reigns, the next John Cena, right? Those types of guys come across as megastars, and Braun Breaker has every single piece of the recipe to become a freaking megastar, and I can't wait. And what they've been able to do with him is remarkable thus far. I look forward to his Intercontinental title match with Sami Zayn. I think they're going to put on a heck of a performance. I love everything that they've been able to do with Braun Breaker up to this point. I think they've been able to book him extraordinarily well. They've been very protective of him, and I think one thing that is lost upon fans when we talk about the differences between the Vince McMahon-led creative era of WWE and the Triple H-led era of creative of World Wrestling Entertainment, under Triple H, he not only goes out of his way much more often, but he also does a better job at protecting talent than Vince McMahon did. Vince McMahon would have the reputation of he would have a new toy, a new star, he would play with that star, and then if you didn't get over to the certain point that he thought you should, he legitimately just gave up on you and you were done for. And Triple H, he is more prone to protect people, give them time to bake if he sees something in them, and then they flourish, right? And I greatly appreciate that from Triple H, and I hope to see more of that in the near future. Let me know down in the comments area below whether or not you agree with what Hulk Hogan had to say about Braun Breaker, and I will see y'all in the next video.